Here we come. This is Chuck Worley with the 757 House Whisperers Show. We are going to have, of course, I dropped my pen trying to focus here. Thank you. All right, got my pen. I'm always taking notes, trying to improve the show. But this is Chuck Worley, 757 House Whisperers Show. I am the founder and co-host. I own Chuck Worley with Worley's Home Services. I own the HVAC, electrical, plumbing, crawl space, insulation, spray foam, crawl space encapsulations. Pretty much do most of the things in your house that require a master's. And that is, of course, heating and air, electrical, and plumbing are the big three. I want to let everybody introduce themselves. We've got Cindy Raw with Alpha Pest Solution. She is not here this week, but she is our solution for any crawl space bugs and mice and rats. And last week we called her the Snake Wrangler. Remember if you guys were listening last week? But yeah, she wrestled was it rattlesnake? No, copperhead. She had a copperhead last. Yeah. So anything animals and varmints, she can help you get rid of. And Albin with Albin Co. Remodeling homes, and the reason he's not here is because I got him busy at my house. So if I believe in him enough to have him at my house, you can believe in him enough to. And I know hundreds, not 10. I know hundreds of contractors, and I chose him to remodel our. Started out to be one room, and now it's kind of the house. So
nice. It's wise decision.
Yeah, yeah, mostly. We were talking about it last week. They said. So I heard this old couple was talking. They said, look, me and my husband have never argued. We just never argued. He makes all the little decisions, and I make all the big decisions. And she said, in 40 years, we've never had a little decision to make. Which, for all you slow people like me, it took me a minute. She makes all the decisions. That's why they never fight. So, but anyway, that was funny. But yes, so Miss Julie definitely made a lot of the decision making in that. But they did use a couple of my ideas, which I was happy about. But anyway, you want to introduce yourself, Mikey?
Yep, I'm Michael Davenport, CVP Windows and Doors. We are the only window manufacturer in the Hampton Roads market. We do all the windows, we do sliding glass doors, and we also install Therma-Tru swing doors. We make everything right here, made by custom dimensions to fit your house. And we do it at an affordable price based on the marketplace. We believe that everyone should get a quality job at a quality price. And we don't go to Bermuda on every job, which means that somebody charge you too much if that happens. We have.
Does that happen with windows?
That can happen. Yeah. Sometimes I tell you, sometimes people do stuff to some people at their house. A salesman for a window company, that if he did in front of a 7-Eleven, you get 8 to 10 years for it, and that's the gospel.
Yeah, I tell people all the time. Typically, the way our pricing is we're not the franchises. We're not local companies. All local companies. We're not the big monsters. That are going to come in, but we're not Bubba and Skeeter either, right? So we got overhead, we got a company.
It's a real company.
Somebody will answer the phone when you call, So I mean, it takes money to hire people to answer the phone.
We also when you want to do business with us, we want you to come over and visit our manufacturing facility there in Newport News. We want you to see and watch how we do these windows. We use a vinyl window that is a welded joint, not a mechanical joint. Gives you a much better window as far as quality, long-term, reliability, and that is the important thing because you don't want to buy windows but once, and then you want it to be a done deal, and that's what we do for you.
Let me add this. So the reason for the show, the reason we created the show, was to give you a place, somebody in the 757, you own a house, renting a house, whatever, you're in a house and got questions about the house. Our job, our reason for me thinking of this show and coming up with this show was to help people in the 757 learn more about their house. This show is really a customer service for the 757 homeowner. You call in 627-7979. That's 627-7979. You call in with a question about your house. We got the best painter, we got the best roofer, we got the windows and door guy, we got the heating and air, and you've got the finance guy. If you need something fixed in your house, this is the show you want to call into. And one of the cool things about the show is when you call in and ask a question, you're not the only person with that question. You may be the bravest person to call in and ask. Mike won't bite your head off. He's the nicest guy. He's going to answer your question as clearly as we can. The cool part is we're not just helping one person anymore. The reason for the show is we help one person with a question about their house. We're helping thousands of other people. Oh, I didn't realize that's why a roof needed ventilating. I didn't know why that crawl space had moisture in it or whatever. I didn't know why that paint peeled off after 2 years because I hired a cheap guy with a bucket of paint in the back of his truck, and all the paint peeled off 2 years later. Why'd that happen? It's because he didn't prepare the surface. He did. So why the show was created was to help people in the 757 answer questions about their house. So call in 757-627-7979 from the roof to the crawl space, anything in between. We got a co-hosts here that are getting ready to introduce themselves. I'm going to introduce Tommy Hines, the Perfect Home Remedy guy. He's our money guy. If you guys need money for any of these projects, he is amazing at helping people find money that they may or may not have known was there. Just helped a customer a couple weeks ago. We went out there, probably 6 months ago now, back in January, February. He was one of our first callers. And he had a house that he had like $30,000 of credit card debt, but he needed like $10,000 to do this and $5,000 to do this to fix his house. And all he had was Social Security, right? And so he couldn't figure it out. So anyway, found out he had a rental property, ended up doing a line of credit on that or refinancing that, dropped his bill. Like $1,000 a month of cash flow he created for this guy.
Yeah, that's big.
And that's huge, especially if you're living on Social Security, which I don't know what that number is, but I know
it's not great.
My dog can't support itself on it. It's a lot. So, it's not a lot. So, which we don't want to get political, but but yeah, that's why we want you to call in 627-7979 and answer questions about your house. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Justin.
Yeah, Chuck, glad to be here. I'm Justin Murphy with Pyramid Roofing, Gutters, and Solar. Got it right this time. Just while we're taking a couple seconds, just saying thanks to everybody. Chuck, I would like to say thank you, just coming out and saving the day. Us as Pyramid, we made a little mistake. It happens from time to time, but Chuck came out, got it right, got the system up and running again, and then Mike, you're talking about Bermuda. You're not canceling this year, are you? You said, I'm still trying to go with you, buddy. But over here at Pyramid Roofing, we just like to be honest, open, and transparent with customers. Everybody knows what's going on with the economy, and, prices are kind of all over the place. But if you just want to know what the brass tacks are, and, if you need it, you need it. If you don't, let's see what we can do for you. Just get you back in shape. But we're just here to help. So... yeah, I'd like to say
a little more information. It's really important when you're in contracting. You have a handful of guys that you trust that are going to do the right thing without hesitation. Me and Mike have been friends for a long time. Probably, how old are you? Yeah, probably longer than Jack's been alive. Me and Mike have been friends, but I would not hesitate for a second to call him about a job situation or a roof or a door. Doors or windows. And it's cool. Justin had a problem today. One of his trucks backed up over a piece of PVC that you would think, it's just a spigot, it'd be easy. Nope, they tied a spigot into the geo loop.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
So not only did it knock out this, water spraying all over the yard at 9 gallons per minute, but now they have no AC.
Yeah.
What was the temperature today?
Oh, it was every bit of 100 out there.
Yeah, it was hot as crap. So the cool part about being in relationships with good contractors is he makes one phone call. Now, you guys know we're not sitting around the shop.
Yeah, we're busy.
I don't have a truck in my shop. Like everybody, is on the road today.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what's the rule? It's not what you know, it's who you know.
That's one of those things. And, accidents don't happen, but they happen to all of us.
But the cool part is he makes one phone call. We come out there. We're going to take care of it. We knocked it out. I mean, just kind of kudos to Pyramid. They're like, look, if we have to put them up in a hotel, we're putting them up in a hotel. Like, we're going to do what's right. We're going to do what's right, which is a really great. That's a great.
What's really cool about the phone call is that the guys that you have on your team are qualified mechanics that can be trusted, and they're not going to tell the customer something that, oh yeah, you need a whole new system when we can change the motherboard or something.
Heck no. Yeah, hopefully we haven't found out the answers yet. The guys were on their way there, but the cool part is, like I said, a company. Look, we'd put them up in a hotel. We're going to do something. We're going to do the right thing, and that meant a lot to me because I know a lot of contractors out there. They'd be like, "Sorry about your bad luck. You shouldn't have had a piece of PVC next to your driveway." I mean,
Chuck, none of us are perfect. I mean, we strive for perfection, but accidents happen sometimes, and it was an unfortunate circumstance. But
you're taking care of it. That's the point of it.
Well, I know you, and you helped us out.
Yeah, it's one of Nick Saban is one of my favorite coaches. Of course, he's retired now because he doesn't want to be in the coaching business of the college coaches that's turning into the NFL now, right? Yeah. With purchasing agents or purchasing kids. That $250,000 college degree wasn't payment enough, But let's not go down that road. But he talks about perfection. He said, "I am peerless." He said, "I don't have competition. I have zero competition." Ole Miss, Alabama, Clemson, all those other teams, we're peerless. We don't compete against them. We compete against perfection. If everybody does their job, which my team, my company, your company, if everybody just does their job, what is every offensive play in the NFL designed to do?
Get a touchdown.
Score touchdowns.
Every play.
Yeah.
So if every single person does everything right, you get a touchdown on every single offensive play drawn up in the NFL.
Yep.
But does that happen?
Nope.
No. Why? Because the more people, the more problems, right? So, but my point is, it was something that you said about perfection. Our goal is perfection. So let's, all right, looks like we got a couple calls. Let's go to Mr. Hugh in Carrollton, it looks like.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
We can hear you well. How you doing, Mr. Hugh?
I'm doing good. I have a slight problem that hopefully you can help me with. I don't know if it works in y'all's wheelhouse or not.
Okay.
But I have a dryer, and I just bought a house in Carrollton about 2 years ago. And it's a 2-story house, and the dryer run, they originally told me, went down into the crawl space and out to the end. It was like 40 feet, and it was constantly clogging. Then someone came out last year and said, "Oh, no, you actually go up." And we actually do go up through the roof. But it keeps clogging on us, and like now, after paying $400 for someone to clear it out last time, it's water in the dryer again. And I was just wondering if you've heard of something like that.
Yeah. So the code is 35 foot, but here's the kicker. So you may have 40 foot of dryer vent, but have 14 turns or 14 90s in it, right? Yeah. So every 90 degree turn adds 5 feet linear feet. So what's that mean? That means I need a 25 foot max straight dryer vent with 2 elbows, right? Because that's 25, 30, 35. I'm slow in math. I did that for me, not for you. But so the maximum you're supposed to have is 35. Now let's complicate that and let's involve gravity.
Well, the one thing, Chuck,
going up.
Thing that really is a killer on the one going through the roof, especially during the wintertime, that pipe that goes vertically is carrying a real moist, hot air.
Hot, humid air.
And that pipe, if it's not insulated as it goes up through the roof, will cool, and then that lint or whatever is getting by the trap in the dryer is collecting to the pipe on the outside, and that's going to cause it to clog. the other part of that is if it goes up
wet.
through the.
So it's almost like
gooey.
wet. It's like wet insulation.
Yeah,
if that
gooey.
explains it any better.
But if you got it going up through the roof, the contractor should have put a bird shield on it at the top, and that's another problem because the bird shield has a little wire, and it goes up through there, and the little wire catches. And if you use that dryer very much at all, if you got a household with you and your wife and a couple of kids, that thing's going to have to be a major clean job every other month because of those two issues. And the one in the crawl space also needs to be clean. Mine is, like Chuck said, it's maxed out.
And it could be flex. I mean, I don't know if you know if it's flex or hard pipe.
Not.
Flex makes it even worse because it's got the ribs and the. So yeah, there's a lot of things. We do mess with dryer vents. Obviously, we know what the code is, so we know not to run it 58 feet and have 14 elbows. So because you're just asking for problems. But Mike is definitely right about the lint getting wet, so it sticks to the sides. Then it hardens, and then more lint hits to it. Most people don't know this because I see it all the time. They will actually drill a screw into the dryer vent. The problem with that is that lint will grab onto the screw, and then what it does is it just bounces all around until it hits the other screw across from it, and then it bounces all around there, and then it hits another one, and then all of a sudden you got a spider web inside of the dryer vent. So really code is no screws, no nails, nothing holding it together. Tape it together on the outside, and of course less than 30 linear feet.
The other thing you can do, mine's in the crawl, and I was lucky enough. Chuck conditioned my crawl for me 2 years ago, and he'll go into a little bit of detail on that here in a minute, I'm sure. But I cleaned that dryer vent out. I went to Lowe's. I got the kit. I take the outside cover off. I take my cordless drill, and I take that, and I got 25 feet because that's what I have. I have 25 feet and one elbow. That makes it 30 feet. And I just run that thing up in there while the dryer's running, and I run it up and pull it out, run it up, pull it out, and you can see all that lint that's trapped in there, and I don't have any screws in it, but the lint just will collect along the side because while it's a smooth surface, it's not polished surface.
Right.
And so that lint will catch onto it and hold on.
You had something to say about the roof?
I was going to say, I mean, as a roofer standpoint, another thing to think about, like Mike said, with the bird screen that's on the front of it, when that does get clogged up, it actually will start interfering with the damper inside the vent itself. Right. So if the damper's not even open, and you're just going to be. And
I've seen it where it actually looks like crap going down the.
Oh yeah, it'll start spewing out and all over the shingles.
Lint will actually be on top of the shingles and look like. Oh yeah, awful. So, what I would probably do is try and move that vent to a sidewall if that's at all possible. Once it goes into the attic, maybe I don't know if you said a townhouse or a regular house. Hopefully, a house. I can go out the gable side of it. Again, depending on trying to keep the distance within code. But I mean, if it's 36 feet and it's going sideways, it's going to be better than 35 foot or 40 foot, I think is what you said, straight up.
Oh, yeah.
So.
It was straight down. But evidently, even though I paid to have that done, I don't think that's what's actually being used. I think it's going up, which going up is probably about, 12, 13 feet. But it did have the bird cage on front of it, but I think that got knocked out when he was doing it. And I've seen the lint in the backyard. Oh. But I think you're right because it's not insulated in the attic.
Well, see,
so maybe it got wet.
The problem with no bird cage is birds figure that out.
I was just about to say there might be a bird that's nested on top of the damper.
Yeah, we see that even in the sidewall. We'll see that, like when it comes out the sidewall of the house. Yeah. But yeah, just I think Mike got your information. We're giving out gift cards and stuff like we do every week. But to your information, child, we'll give you a call and I can come out and take a look and see what's going on.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Hey, you're welcome. Thanks for the call, Hugh. You want to hit Linda real quick? Or do we have? Oh, wow, that went fast. Hey, Linda in Norfolk.
I'm here.
Hello.
Yes. Hello. I would like to know if the experts could tell me why my outside whole house air conditioning unit will be running, yet there's absolutely no air, hot or cold, coming out of the vent.
Because it's got a frozen condenser.
That could definitely be one.
Or it's dirty.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of
things that can happen there.
A temperature control switch, a damper control. I don't know.
Well, I tell you one thing you can do, and Chuck will back me up on this. If there's no air coming out of your vents, turn the unit off and see after about 30 minutes, and if that coil is frozen up, then it will thaw out, and if you turn it back on, you get air movement. You probably got a gas shortage of some type.
Yeah.
Right?
So, is your unit in the attic or crawl space or?
I'm sorry. I have done that, and it will come back. And the last 2 days, it's been on consistently. Temperature's doing fine, but it was over the 4th of July weekend. We were suffering.
Yeah, I mean.
So what would cause that to be intermittent?
I will tell you this. I think Hades has actually visited Earth the last couple of weeks. So it has been hell on Earth the last couple of weeks.
I know.
I keep looking around for the guy with a pitchfork walking around us because it's man, it has been hell on Earth this last couple weeks.
You can't expect miracles out of that AC. Sometimes you put it on 76. And it still goes up to 80.
Ooh,
but then after dark, it'll pick back up if it's doing right.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, that could be if you can hang on for a second, I think we're getting ready to do a hard break. And if you want to hold on, I can come back and finish this.
You know what? Can I just listen to y'all on the radio?
Sure. And I can have somebody come back and take a look at it this week for you too. But it sounds like it's just trying to do its job. If it's catching up in the evening, it's probably doing its job. Just making sure filters are clean, coils are clean. The basic stuff. But I mean, if it is catching up in the night, I'm going to talk more about that. So definitely stay on. I'm going to talk more about the last couple weeks and why your system is not shutting off for 3 days straight. So, but definitely, hey, thank you, Linda, for calling in. That's a great question.
Have a good evening, Linda.
And stay tuned for more 757 House Whisperer right here on News Talk 790 WNIS.
Hey, this is Chuck Worley with the 757 House Whisperers Show. Going to introduce ourselves today again. I am Chuck Worley with Worley's Home Services. Any heating and air, plumbing, electrical, crawl space encapsulations, spray foam insulation, which we're going to talk about in a few today. And then Cindy Raw with Alpha Pest Solutions is our other co-host.
Michael Davenport, CVP Windows and Doors. We're the guy that can make it all happen. Make it all happen as far as your exterior windows, your doors. We build the patio doors. Tommy Hines, he's the money guy. He can provide you the money to do your modifications, your improvements, and what have you. Albin with Albin Co. Albin is a great guy. He can do additions. He can do remodeling. He's fixing Chuck's house now, so it won't fall down around.
He's too busy. Don't call him.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Plenty of
Chuck will have him busy for probably till Christmas.
No, 3 months. Because I moved out of the house. He said, I'll have it done in 3 months.
Move out. Now, that's the best way to do it. Move out, it.
I really thought we could put up with it, but I went through the house today.
It's a lot going on.
It's a lot going on, man. There's more dust. My cat would have ate more stuff and had another $4,000 surgery. Oh, no.
Those are nice.
No, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm Justin Murphy with Pyramid Roofing, Gutters, and Solar. Just here to help. Just being honest.
Yeah, Jack Keller here with Legacy Painting. We do painting and drywall here on the south side and peninsula. Inside, outside, we do about just it all.
Sweet.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So we actually want to finish up with the Linda call. I want to remind you guys of 627-7979. That's 627-7979. Call in with your questions. We just had a fantastic question about dryer vents. There's, I know that we helped a lot of people the last 30 minutes talking about dryer vents and air conditioning. So please call in any questions, roofing, painting, doors, windows, heating and air conditioning, any questions you have. We got the experts on the show, our co-hosts. Stump my experts. Call in and try and stump my experts. Let's go with AC. I'm going to go back to Linda's question. She had talked about her unit running for 3 days straight while literally a man with a pitchfork's been walking around the earth the last couple weeks. It has been horrible. Just even in my own house, I have an old 1936 farmhouse. It leaks like a sieve. We're getting ready. We're doing all these upgrades now. Spray foam is in my future. It's
spray foam that roof, and we're gonna have words.
No, I'm not doing it. Not doing it. I mean, we can do it.
No,
I just try and talk
time.
people out of it. There's a great way to spray foam the infiltration between the recessed can lights, the pull down staircases. Spray foam all that, and then blow in R50 insulation. You know, that's the way we do it. That's the way we like to do it. It's cheaper to do it that way, and it lasts longer. It's fantastic. We have had people just. Man, we literally did a job. Now, we're not bragging we go to Franklin, but we did go to Franklin on a job, and we literally, this was a 100-year-old house. Some of you guys may have saw What's Stuck in Chuck's Crawl on Facebook. This lady had a twisted chimney, right? So that's why I remember this house, a twisted chimney. Do you know why chimneys were twisted 100 years ago or a couple hundred years ago when they built this house?
No, I have no clue, but I've seen a ton of them.
Stop witches from going down your chimney.
You hear that, Mike?
I mean, you should have known that, Mike. You were back then. But no, that actually had a home inspector tell me that, and I was like,
seen the witch
"That
stairs
freaking
before.
makes sense. That makes sense."
By the way, it also works for Santa.
Yes, it does. Well, he's going to have to lose some weight. But anyway, my point was, this guy had taken advantage of this old lady out there, and it was just horrible situation. And he lived right next door to her, so I'm there fixing the house while this scumbag's coming in and out.
I want
to, yes. For the thoughts in my head, I would have went to jail for it, because it just, how do you do that to your neighbor? How do you do that in general?
How do you do it to anybody?
So she buys a heat pump. He puts in a propane gas furnace package in it, right? So her propane bill is like $2,000 a month. She can't even afford to run it. Like it was horrible, and no insulation in the house. So we spray foam the house, seal up the house, blow in the R50 insulation. We don't even hook up. Oh, the heat pump was actually an air conditioner he had left over from another job. So she thought she had a heat pump. She had an air conditioner, right? So she can't figure out why the heat is not working, because she was using electric heat in the air handler instead of the heat pump that she didn't have. So her electric bill's $1,000. Propane bill's $2,000. Like, this guy needed a butt kicking really bad. So anyway, we spray foam the roof, not the roof. We spray foam the attic. We blow in insulation. We had not even hooked up the heat pump yet, and it was 10 degrees warmer than it had been all winter. She goes, "Chuck, oh my gosh, you guys, that heat pump is phenomenal." I looked over at my guys. I was like, "Ricky, did we install a heat pump yet?" He goes, "No, it's on the back of my truck." I said, "Well, she said it's warm on the second floor." He goes, "Well, I guess so. It was a wind tunnel before we got here." Yeah. He had spray foamed and sealed. The house was 15 degrees warmer, and the heat pump wasn't even running
yet. It's not drafted anymore.
So spray foam is awesome. I was just telling the guys during our break, we're on this Facebook Live, so we're talking, and got set aside with talking about spray foam. My house is not spray foam, 1936 farmhouse, right? So we keep it 70 degrees in there, and sometimes that's cold enough. But 71, 72 is, you're trying to get it to 70 because it's just not keeping up. It's humidity, all this. So we move out to our two-car garage that I had spray foamed for my 78-year-old dad, who keeps it 84 degrees in the house, right? So I knew, since I'm paying the utility bills, 78. Yeah, I said 78. Yeah. Right, 70. I didn't want to add years to him. So he keeps it, 82 degrees in the house. So I knew, since I'm paying the utility bills, I need that heat to stay in the house, right? Mm-hmm. So I spray foamed the whole thing. Now me and Julie moved out there and trying to fix up the house. Dude, I cannot get it below 76, 75 without freezing my guts out. Like, it is so cold in this 2-car garage. Why? No humidity. People think I'm trying to beat temperature. I don't care about temperature. What makes a fat man sweat, and I'm a fat man sweating, right, is humidity. The temperature doesn't matter. The temperature is just a byproduct of us controlling humidity and pulling humidity out of the air. The humidity is what we're trying to you go upstate and it's hot, but it's 22% humidity. I mean, they're sissies for being hot. Like, no, when it's 80, 90% humidity. So we're fighting humidity. So pulling humidity out of the house. So just to remind you, the number is 627-7979. Call in with any questions. I'm going to continue with this air conditioning thing because I think everybody's been thinking about it, because I know when they're walking down the road or driving past people, they see some guy with a pitchfork walking around because it's so freaking hot.
Let's go back to why it ran for 3 days in a row.
Yeah, so back to the same thing. So the humidity, all right, so when we design air conditioning in this area, thank you, Mike, for getting me back on track. When we design air conditioning back in this area, the design temperatures are 95 degrees outside, 75 degrees inside. All right, so that's our worst case scenario, because the average in this area is like 87 or 88 degrees. So our design temperatures when we're designing air conditioners, 75 degrees inside, 95 degrees outside. If we design it so it's 105 degrees outside and 75 inside or 70 inside, we're going to oversize the air conditioner. So 90% of the time, it will be short cycling because we won't be able to run it long enough to pull the humidity out of the house. Again, I have to remind air conditioning guys, my competitors, we're trying to beat humidity, not temperature. So if the humidity is still in your house at 70 degrees, what are you going to do to the thermostat?
Are you going to keep cranking
You're going to keep cranking it down.
Yeah.
So now I'm 68, 67, 65. I had a guy, it was a 300-pound guy that I mean, yeah, he was a big boy. I mean, he was probably bigger than that. But he was like 6'5". He was a big man, right? He was an engineer at NASA. So I go in this house. It's set on 64, and he's pissed off because it won't get to 64.
It'll never get there.
No.
Well, it got to 66 and 65
Really?
before the mold and mildew
Oh, yeah.
on his first floor started collapsing his sheetrock. Yeah. So, of course, he has 17 contractors in there. Nobody can figure it out. I walk in here, and I said, dude, this is not rocket science. It's called dew point. It's too dang cold in here. So anyway, he's like, well, that doesn't make. I said, dude, when it comes down and you're cranking it to 60 and the outdoor temperature, there's hot air getting in between your floors, which is what was happening then. It was coming in through his soffits. The heat was touching my 60-degree duct, 50-degree duct. Boom. What happens? As soon as hot touches cold.
Sweat.
Soda can effect.
Sweat, condensation, and then what?
Mold and mildew.
Mold and mildew. It's math. It's not rocket science.
I know Cindy's not here with Alpha Pest Solutions, but also it attracts all of the bugs and the critters because they're drinking the water.
Yeah, they love the humidity. I mean, they
Working a crawl
love.
space causing that problem. Then you get the mold.
Yeah, we see
on
it a
top of
lot in the
floor
crawl spaces.
joist.
Absolutely.
Right.
You open up your duct and you see it. It's because that hot, humid air from the crawl space.
And then it's a $10,000+ repair, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
It's
that's if
just,
you're
it's
lucky.
If you're
yeah,
lucky,
it's just. That's why we have Tommy Hines, right? So the anyway, so humidity is the devil, right? Yeah. We want to get rid of the devil. We want to get rid of humidity. So that is why your air conditioner, because it's been averaging what 115, 110. I mean, it's been over 100 the last 3 weeks, right?
It's horrible.
So why is your system coming on at 6 a.m. and not shutting off until 3 a.m., hopefully, right? It's because you're setting your temperatures at 70, and the system is just never going to catch up. So it's just not designed to.
I got a quick one for you if you want to stay on ACs for a minute. I bought a desk from a gentleman on Facebook Marketplace, whatever, this weekend.
To do with air conditioning?
Yes, it does. I go over there, and his AC, beautiful house, Greenbrier, fancy neighborhood, humongous, beautiful house. He's got the stamped concrete driveway, very nice. I go in there, huge vaulted ceilings, no air conditioning. They tell me it went out. The hottest weekend we've had for a while, and their AC goes out. And he told me it was days ago, and their heating and cooling specialist offered them no solutions. And I told him, I was like, man, you need to call somebody else. I gave him your number. I said, go call Chuck Worley, because most of the better heating and cooling companies have rooms and warehouses full of AC units they can put in your house. Get you a cool room. Tell me about that, because if somebody's suffering, waiting for XYZ company to show up and they're doing nothing.
Well, I can tell you real quick about it. Cause mine went out.
Right.
Okay.
Mine went out. It was in August. And we had my son and his wife and 2 kids. They sold their house.
When
they
it
were
happens.
living with us.
That's when it happens.
And
when
we
you
had
have
a house
company.
full of people. And Chuck came right over, stuck a window unit in the upstairs. We put a couple of fans in to push it around. And we did the downstairs unit that year. We did the upstairs unit that year. And we encapsulated a crawl space. And it just made all the difference in the world. But he uses nice quality equipment. The other thing that y'all offer is a service contract. And the guys come out. Most people think, the service contract just like throwing money down a hole. But the guy comes out and he spends, if he's doing a service contract right, he spends a couple of hours going through the system, checking out everything, making sure all the coils are clean, making sure, important, you got a unit in your attic, you got a drain, and then you got an overflow pan, and you got another drain. He makes sure all those drains are cleaned out, they're draining properly, because the last thing you want to do is find out that, oh, yeah, I guess that overflow pan's clogged, too, because I see that wet spot in the ceiling.
Mike, why you say that? I just went to one earlier this week. Yeah, it was raining in the house, but not raining outside.
Right.
Yeah, you go upstairs and I'm like,
it's got to be the roof.
Yeah, of course, it has to be. So I go up there and,
that's what you were there for, right?
Yeah, no, I was. And the condensation pan is absolutely full, completely full.
Yeah. It happens all the time. Of course, we get air conditioning problems, and we're like, well, it's not dripping. And they're like, well, it dripped yesterday. Oh, when the monsoon came through, like it's
wrong company.
We get the exact opposite. They think it's the air conditioner and it's the daggone hole in the roof. So that's kind of our air conditioning dilemmas the last couple of weeks, is that design temperature is perfect for this area. There's a lot of engineers that figured out this math. You don't want to oversize your air conditioning. Bigger is not better in air conditioning, ever. Like, it's just not. Short cycle, we were talking, you were asking earlier, it will cause the air conditioner, by being oversized, it will start the unit to start short cycling, which is going to burn up the compressor. Everybody knows you turn your engine on and off or leave it on. Like, the more you cut it on and off, the more wear and tear is on the engine. Same thing with a compressor. The more amps are being driven into the high amps when that system starts. I think the amps on the compressor coming in the 20s. Run is like 3, 4, 5, 6, amps. So it's the amperage is a lot less when it stays on running.
So you're
when
saying
it's short cycles.
So for the layperson out there, it's more than most entire rooms. So your bedroom might be a 20 amp circuit, and you're saying that pulls that much as your whole bedroom pulls if everything's turned on all at one time when you're trying to start it up.
That's correct.
Okay, that's crazy.
The capacitor gets the engine going.
Yeah.
And that is really
a lot of electricity.
I mean, think about it. You got all the bump capacitors, the hard start capacitors. I mean, it's a lot of power to get that compressor up.
So what you're saying is you're asking a lot out of your air conditioning system this time of the year to keep you cool and comfortable, and especially if you're not keeping up on it, then you'll have those problems in the drain line. That would have gotten cleaned if you would have called Worley's and gotten your system tuned up in time. That's right. Do you still do tune-ups at this time of the season?
Not too much. We're so busy trying to keep everybody from dying.
Yeah.
Like, it's life or death right now.
Yeah,
I mean, we got a customer coming in. I left 2. He had we're putting in a heat pump for him, and it's not what you know, it's who you know. I somehow got him squeezed in on Saturday. but had to bribe my guys to come in on Saturday. But so anyway, he's coming by tonight to pick up 2 window units because he's like, oh God,
you gotta sleep.
Yeah, he said it was 98 in his house last night. I was like,
I'm
holy
leaving.
crap!
Yeah, I'm not there.
I'd rather spend $100 on a hotel. Or
Easy.
$100 anymore. But yeah, so anyway, yeah, he's coming by tonight. Brad's coming by tonight to pick up a couple window units for. So he's like, I'm still sleeping in Mom's house, but I'm gonna cut it on so tomorrow it will be, doable.
Yeah,
so,
bearable.
Bearable.
Well, and like you
correct.
said, you got to cut the humidity down in your house, even if you're not there. It sounds like it matters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's so hard to go from nothing to something like
Camping in your house.
Yeah, people don't realize that furniture holds heat.
And
Walls hold heat, and you got to suck all that humidity out of the couch, out of the walls, out of the fixtures, out of the humidity. That's why it's so hard when you leave to go out of town for 2 weeks and forget to leave the air conditioner set at 77. You come in the house and it's 86 in your house. Like, hopefully no mold or mildew, right? Because 60% humidity is the death trigger for mold and mildew. Yeah. So if it's above 60% humidity, you are going to have issues.
And the thing you got to remember too is if you got the old windows, and I'm talking about the windows from many years past, you don't have good gasketing material to keep the moisture and the wind-driven rain from coming through the window. You can tell a difference in the heating and cooling bills when you have a good quality window product. The walls are going to be pretty good. I mean, any house that was built since 73 requires a certain amount of insulation in the side walls. It was R11 back then.
It was really easy to get the insulation out of my 1936 farm.
I know there won't not.
Was it newspaper? Is there anything there?
Yeah, I know.
No, I've seen newspaper.
I've seen newspaper too.
I've seen newspaper too. Yeah.
But there's all kinds of things that we can talk to you about. And there's even, I heard on the radio today, is there an energy saving shingle now?
No, actually there is. There actually is.
Instead of pay for itself, I would like one like that because that way you put a new roof on and just somebody sends a bill and pays it each month. You don't have to worry about it.
I like it.
Pays for itself.
Yeah, there is options out there for sure.
Really?
Yeah, no, there definitely is.
We got to talk about that some in the stint next week.
No, absolutely. That is an option. There's some pros and cons you got to get to it. I mean, longevity. I mean, how long you're going to be in the house. Return on investment. There's a couple different things in there, but those are definite options.
Well, Justin, is that the same thing with solar? It's an option for a lot of people or just some people? Are there certain criteria to make it worthwhile?
My biggest thing, so I went solar on my own house, and that was just because I was having like $800 Dominion electric bills, and that just got too much. It was too much. It was a mother-in-law suite, so it's 2 houses on 1 meter, basically. It's a lot. Solar, I absolutely love solar. I'm glad I made the leap. I will never look back. But it's some things you need to talk through. It is the future. It's going that way. Everybody's going to change that way. Just my biggest thing is return on investment. It's got to make sense.
Sure. Only 90 seconds left, gentlemen.
All right, so let's remember 955-9415 is our phone number. You can text us questions after the show. We actually had a couple questions we didn't get to that people had texted us last week.
Trivia. We
we got into it today. And that duck, that dryer duck, which I'm telling you,
I was waiting for Michael's opinion on hand-blown glass windows.
The old ones. I sold a few of those on eBay.
He sold a few of them, yeah.
Yeah. Artist people love them.
No, they do. They do. Yeah. I should have thought about that when I pulled those windows out.
You should have.
You absolutely should have kept some.
But yeah, that is some cool glass. If y'all don't know what we're talking about, blown glass is really cool.
When you look through it, it's kind of wavy.
Yeah, it's really cool.
We got the hook, guys.
All right, so it looks like we got a few seconds left. Thank you all for calling in. We actually had 2 fantastic, great questions. Keep us in mind every Wednesday from 6 to 7 on every Wednesday night. The 757 House Whisperer Show. Go to us on 757housewhisperer.com. Definitely call us and text us if you have any questions. 955-9415.
Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you all.
The preceding program was sponsored and paid for by Worley Home Services, who's entirely responsible for its content.